Sedentary middle-aged adults, 4 months, roughly 12% more muscle strength. The people taking the placebo, they gained nothing. Same age, same starting fitness, no dramatic new training program, and yet one group walked away measurably stronger while the other stayed flat. Something changed inside their cells, and it wasn't the muscle fibers themselves. It was the tiny power plants packed inside them, the structures that turn your breakfast and the air you breathe into usable energy. For decades, we assumed these power plants simply wear out with age, and there's nothing to be done. The newest human data says that story is mostly wrong and that you have far more control than anyone thought. Let's get into what actually happened. This is a complete, stacked protocol for rebuilding your mitochondria, and it's built in layers, cheapest and most powerful first, most experimental last. The people who care about this are endurance athletes, longevity researchers, and increasingly anyone staring down the slow energy decline that starts in your 40s. What makes it compelling right now is a shift in how scientists understand the problem. For years, the assumption was that aging wrecks your mitochondria, that they break down and nothing can be done. The newest human muscle biopsy data flips that. In most people, the machinery inside each mitochondrion works fine. The trouble is there are simply too few of them. They've become fragmented, and they're drowning in more fuel, more glucose, more fat than they can process. That reframe matters enormously, because broken beyond repair and too few, overloaded, call for completely different solutions. You can't fix broken. You absolutely can build more, clear out the damaged ones, and stop overloading them. Start with what a mitochondrion actually is. Picture a coal-fired power station shrunk down so small that a single muscle cell holds hundreds or thousands of them. They take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe and turn it into ATP, the energy currency every cell spends. They take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe and turn it into ATP, the energy currency every cell spends. But they are not fixed batteries sitting in a drawer. They constantly fuse together into long connected networks and then split apart again, and that fusion and fission cycle is how the cell does quality control. Damaged sections get pinched off, tagged, and sent for recycling in a process called mitophagy, basically cellular garbage collection, while brand new mitochondria get built to replace them. That building process has a master switch, a gene called PGC1 alpha. Think of it as the foreman who tells the cell to start construction on new power plants. And here's a strange detail. Mitochondria carry their own DNA loop. A leftover from the free-living bacteria that merged with our ancestors roughly 2 billion years ago, and they still use it to send chemical messages to the rest of the body. Now the reframe that changes everything. Muscle biopsy studies in people with insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes found something surprising. When researchers measured respiration per individual mitochondrion, the differences largely vanished. There were simply fewer of them. Mitofusin 2, the protein mitochondria need in order to fuse, is reduced in obesity and diabetes, and the more of it people have, the more insulin sensitive they tend to be. When glucose arrives faster than the plants can burn it, the surplus gets converted to lactate, and people in the highest fasting lactate group had roughly twice the diabetes risk of the lowest. And cells that simply can't keep up energetically release a distress signal called GDF15, now used in cardiology to flag heart failure, alongside a cousin called FGF21. So if the problem is too few, the fix is building more. And here exercise is the strongest and best evidence lever we have. A single bout of exercise transiently flips on that PGC1 alpha switch. The signal starts with your first workout. The most striking recent data came in a 2026 study in Nature Aging. In the trained older adults, 55% of the gene expression changes we normally associate with aging simply did not happen. Pathways stayed youthful. Exercise and calorie restriction are not interchangeable. Exercise increased muscle mitochondrial content, while calorie restriction alone improved insulin sensitivity without adding mitochondria. There is a ceiling, though. On the supplement side, urolithin A is the standout. In human trials, it produced about a 12% strength gain over 4 months, a 7% bump in VO2 max, and 16% lower inflammation. That's the opening trial. Omega-3 seconds have 12 randomized trials behind them, showing roughly 2% more muscle mass and better grip strength. A melon-derived extract raised antioxidant defenses by about 18% in human testing. For NAD, a 2026 head-to-head found that NR and NMN raised circulating NAD, while plain nicotinamide did not. The frontier compounds like MOTS-c and SS-31 are earlier but exciting in early trials. Layer 1 is the free foundation. and it does the heaviest lifting. Start with movement and use 4 tools together. First, intervals. 4 to 6 hard efforts lasting 30 seconds to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, the most powerful trigger. Second, zone 2 cardio at a talk but not sing pace. Third, resistance training 2 to 3 times a week to hold on to the muscle that houses them. Fourth, blood flow restriction training. Light loads match the strength gains of much heavier lifting while uniquely raising mitochondrial content. Then protect the build. Sleep 7 to 8 hours in a cool, dark room. Get morning daylight into your eyes within 30 to 60 minutes of waking to anchor your circadian clock, which mitochondria run on. Control the fuel load with time-restricted eating, an 8 to 10 hour eating window, which lets an energy sensor called AMPK switch the cell into repair and recycle mode. Layer 2 is food. Alagitannins are plant compounds your gut bacteria convert into urolithin A. Find them in pomegranate, walnuts, and berries. Only 30 to 40% of people convert them efficiently, so eat fiber and fermented foods. For omega-3 seconds, eat oily fish. For your antioxidant defense, load up on melon, spinach, broccoli, and green tea. 1 copyable daily bowl: a spinach base, salmon, walnuts, berries, melon, and green tea. A nutrient powerhouse. Layer 3 is light. Deep in each mitochondrion sits an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase. Red light nudges it. For your eyes, 670 nanometer red light for 3 minutes has shown effects lasting a week, but only in the morning. For the body, aim for 15 minutes a day. Sunlight outperformed gadgets. Infrared passes through clothing, even in winter. In one study, long wavelength light cut the blood sugar spike after a glucose drink by over 20%. Layer 4 is supplements. Start with magnesium in the evening. Then CoQ10 as ubiquinol with fat. If you're on a statin, talk to your doctor. Add methylated B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, B5 in the morning with food. Next, urolithin A and NAD precursors. Save methylene blue for last, 2 to 8 milligrams, not every day. At low doses, it acts as a genuine electron donor to the mitochondria, but it is extremely dose sensitive. Layer 5 is the frontier. Peptides like SS-31 stabilize cardiolipin, the glue keeping the cristae folds pleated. MOTS-c is a signal your mitochondria send out. On the far horizon, mitochondrial transplantation, literally moving healthy mitochondria into damaged tissue. Put together, a week looks like this. Intervals twice, zone 2 3 to 5 times, resistance twice, all inside your eating window. Daily light and meals. Layer the food and free tools first for a month before you spend a cent on the fancier stuff. How do you know it's working? Retest. Track your VO2 max and grip strength. Watch heart rate drift down, and follow fasting glucose and lactate. Falling numbers mean your power plants are catching up. Give it 3 to 4 months. 2 cautions genuinely matter. Peptides SS-31 and MOTS-c belong in a doctor's hands, and methylene blue is strongly dose-sensitive and interacts dangerously with antidepressants, especially SSRIs and MAO inhibitors. Never combine them. Run the plan past your physician. This information is for educational purposes only. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet or medication. The pace here is genuinely thrilling. 5 years ago, half of this was theory, and now we have human biopsies, placebo-controlled strength trials, and peptides moving into the clinic. Mitochondrial medicine is shifting from inheritance to management. Like and subscribe for more deep dives. I'm curious, which layer are you building first? The movement foundation, the food bowl, the light, the stack? Or are you already at the frontier? Tell me in the comments and share what's moved for you. See you next time.